everybody, and good evening. I know I've already done a video, but I just feel like doing another one, and I'm gonna do an unboxing because I just got this in the mail. And so yeah, this is from Jeffree Star Cosmetics, and I already know what it is because I bought it. But yeah, I'm gonna do a video tonight, a story time, about my experiences in 6th grade. Those were literally, like, I can't say it was it was all bad a year, because it really wasn't, but it was really a very trying year for me. That year and the summer as well, because the summer was when my 6th grade year was when my brother died. So, added to my already very hard and stressful year.
Sounds like the year was pretty bad, honey.
It was, but it had its good moments too. I mean, I did like some of my students, but some of them, no, not at all. But some of them, like, I know that people can change, and I realize that. Some of them have, I think. So, I don't keep that. I don't hold that against them, and some of them are even on my stuff. Some of them are on my Facebook. So, I don't know if any of them watch this, so, But, yeah. And this is the lovely packaging from Jeffree Star. And inside, la la la.
Folks, a big box for a teeny little box. What a waste of paperwork and packaging. Hey, Jeffree Star,
and this is this lovely receipt and everything. And it kind of took them a long time to ship it. That's one thing I don't like about that company. Is if I have anything, it's just, you have to pay like a lot if you want like 2-day shipping though. But Isaac, no, he's not because of that. And that's the lovely little thing. And this is about the Jawbreaker palette that they got coming out, which one of these days I might splurge on, but it'll be a while because I go for skincare above makeup sometimes, except for my lip products. Oh, I love lipsticks. I'm a sucker for lip gloss and lipstick when I go and buy stuff. That's my favorite makeups to buy. Yeah, it's true. It's so freaking true. And this is the lemon sucker. And I'm gonna open it for you and just smell it. Tell you what I think of it. I usually get the watermelon gum, but they didn't have any, so beggars can't be choosy. Oh my gosh, it smells like a lemon drop.
It does, huh?
And here's my husband doing his little sniff test.
Ooh, it does smell like lemon. Hey, people, wonder if you'll actually give us real lemon drops.
Isaac! No. I'm gonna take a little on my lips.
You're not supposed to eat it.
Actually, you can.
Don't eat it.
You can.
Legit, then. Get you in. You can just eat that shit.
Uh-huh. Don't mind if I do. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She's smoking. It's great. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Pawn shop.
It's very sugary and sweet, so like me. But yeah. Now back to 6th grade. 6th grade was my last year in public school. And, there's a reason. My brother died, and my parents felt like I should go homeschooling, so after 6th grade, I went to homeschooling. First I went to something called Teen Works, where you meet once a week, you get your schoolwork, and then you go home. I also did homeschool basketball. And then the people that, actually no, first I went with this family, and she had 2 girls. One was my age and one was younger. And basically she homeschooled us. So it was good, you know, when she did it. And then when I started Teen Works with them the second year. And then the third year, I did straight up Teen Works. And I was like, no, I can't keep doing this. I'm really getting behind in my school. I didn't do well with when it came to me doing it myself, and my dad and mom didn't really. My mom wasn't there; she was at work, and my dad helped me when he could, but he didn't really. He wasn't a tutor type, so you know I don't blame that, hold that on him. So whatever, it is what it is, you know. But I was like, whatever. So you know, they found Oakfield, and that's where I graduated. But that's all those stories, you know. Those have a lot of different things too that eventually I might share, but this is about sixth grade. And sixth grade came after fifth grade. And in our school, I went to Belmont, and Belmont has where they have you go to preschool on your own on a different area, then you go to KB, you can if you want, and then they have actually kindergarten B is in. No, they just had kindergarten. Kindergarten B you can go to though as well. And then kindergarten, regular kindergarten. No, some people went to KB and some people went to regular kindergarten, I guess. I don't know.
I
But
skipped kindergarten when I was a kid.
one was like in the morning, one was in the afternoon. So you either went to KB or like the AM or the PM. I mean the AM or the afternoon, whatever. You know what I mean? But then you went to first grade and second grade and, you know, so on. And ours went up to fifth grade. And then after that, you graduated to the next school. So sixth grade has its own school, like building. It's all only sixth graders. Because I guess in Rockford, there's mostly sixth graders. They have a lot of kids that stay in sixth grade. And then seventh and eighth are in one building. And then 9th through 12th is that huge high school in Rockford. It's really big, especially now. They like really elaborated on it. But yeah, I didn't go to all that, but my brothers did. So, luckies. But yeah, my school 6th grade was very very trying, very up and down. I did a lot of good change too, I think. In fifth grade was also really bad for me because I was becoming of maturity. I think I got bigger breasts and a bigger body, and it didn't grow up, it grew out. And you know, I was very uncomfortable in my body at that time because all through fourth grade I started getting that way, and then fifth grade, boom, I blossomed. And all through, you know, third grade and everything, I was like a beanpole. Like if you knew and saw any of my pictures, you'd be like, damn girl, you're thin. I was a toothpick, literally. And I ate the same no matter what. You know, I just ate. I was like, me and my brothers and everybody we were big time eaters back then. And I would eat even seconds. I didn't really do thirds much, but my brothers did. But I only mainly ate seconds at the most, really. But yeah, I liked food, you know. All of us, my family and us loved food. But I also, because I had been malnourished, it was like extra important to me. So, you know, that's something that if you've never been without food, you would not know or understand that whole struggle. But yeah, I didn't do well when it came to like knowing how to stop, you know, for a while. But when I was a kid, it was, you know, you could do that. And I didn't have a good digestion back then. It was horrible. I didn't understand what I had and that I had issues, so I didn't understand why it was happening to me. But so basically I gained a lot of weight. I gained up to 135 and I was in 5th grade. And that was the most I ever was all through those years. So, you know, it was big for me though. For a little petite girl, that's a lot of weight. You know, kids these days are probably easily that, but back then, you know, I was a little tiny kid. You know, I was like petite, small, short. I was a small person, and I was under 5 feet easily most of my grade school years. Probably in the, you know, lower end of fours, maybe mid fours. I don't know exactly. I don't remember, but I was short, and but I was a kid, so I could be short, you know, and not be teased too badly. I never got a growth spurt, really. I was mostly always like that height. And in 6th grade, I started getting teased for it. Now, I did get down, like the summer of my 5th grade year, I realized I needed to lose weight. And I wasn't in denial. You know, I'm not one of those type of overweight people that says I'm comfortable and I love my body the way it is and blah, blah, blah. And yet, you know, that they're not happy with it. You know, I knew that I was overweight and I wanted to do better. I could barely breathe at times because I have bad issues in my lungs. And I begged my mom to let me go swim team. That was in 6th grade though. Actually, what happened was I lost weight on my own before then. I got down to 110 by the time I entered 6th grade. Just over the summertime, I stopped eating as much. I never had seconds anymore. I basically forced myself not to eat snack foods. Like, I gave up my desserts. And for me, that was hard. Like, for a little kid, that's hard to do. But I really was disciplined. I wanted to lose weight. So, you know, if a little 5th grader, you know, just getting out of 5th grade can lose 25 pounds in one summer, none of these people have any, you know, people don't have any excuse. You just give it up. It's called willpower. You just choose to, and you do it, and you stick to it. And I realized that, and I was like, wow, I lost all that weight from 135, and when I saw it said 110, I was like, oh my goodness. And then I started my mom allowed me to start swim team as well. So I started building muscle, and I lost more weight. And I think between 6th and 7th was when I lost the most. By 7th grade, I was down at my lowest probably, which is 85 pounds wet. And that's why my mom felt I was anorexic. Is basically between the summer of 5th grade and the summer of 7th or 8th grade. So that's like a couple years. I lost from 135 down to 85 pounds wet. And that's a kid. You know, so it was a big weight loss, and my doctor even felt it was a big weight loss. But they couldn't do anything to me because I wasn't below the BMI thing for me. I wasn't at underweight yet. Now, if I had the doctor was watching me apparently, and if I had gotten under the BMI for my weight and height, I was going to be put in a hospital with tubes down my throat. That's how serious my family was getting with me. And it got really bad at one point. I started my battle of anorexia and not wanting to eat food, hiding my food whenever I had a chance. Hiding my food whenever I have the chance, and having people find out. It was embarrassing. At times I was always the last person to get up from the table, and I would get spanked if I didn't eat my food. It was pretty stressful, but it was the main thing of debate for my family when I was anorexic, because I don't think I was, but you know, I guess if people want to base it on just the mentality, because I know it's not just your weight and everything, it is the mind too. I mean, I did consider myself still fat until I saw the scale after I gotten out of the pool at one of my parents' friend's place as a family friend. And I went and weighed myself, and it said 85 pounds. And that was only 10 more pounds than my brother when he passed away. And I realized that, and I was like, wow, I've gotten way too skinny. And that was when it dawned on me that I needed to stop. And I think I saw that as my realization. And I felt like for me, between 95 and 100 pounds was generally my norm at that time. I was comfortable with those weight. I could get up to 105. I was okay with that weight, but I liked between 95 and 100. That was when even 92. I liked as low as 92 even. When I was those weights, I felt happy and I felt comfortable in myself, and I didn't have breathing problems as bad because my diaphragm would press in on myself, and because I was born premature, it would hurt a lot. And I had anemia as well, so I was dehydrated a lot or depleted a lot of, I was very fatigued. I always was cold. I always had cold, clammy skin. People would not even want to hold my hand because my hands were so cold. And so my eating disorder was born when I was in 6th grade, I would say. My brother died when I was in 6th grade. I was teased a lot in 6th grade, by not only my classmates, but by my family as well, some of my brothers. And it was really bad. It would hurt me all the time. I would be in the bathroom crying my eyes out all the time, every meal, after every lunchtime. And it just was a very confusing time for me. I mean, and the one part I really wanted to do better, I wanted to lose weight, I wanted to be in swim team, and I was actually with a bunch of kids. So it was embarrassing to me. I was having to start in the beginners swim team class because I tried the regular for my age and I did not do good. And apparently they said that I wasn't up to the level I needed to be to stay in the regular intermediate swim team. So I was having to be with a bunch of grade school kids, which really embarrassed me. But the sad part is I was about same size as some of them. And so, that's where my size, I guess, worked for me. It didn't matter that I was older because I was about their size, because I was so small. Especially when I lost weight, my boobs back then, shrank too because I hadn't been on that Depo crap. So I was very small even in that. I wasn't ever really huge. Even in high school, I think I was only a B. When I first even met Isaac, I think I was just a B. So I was not like huge most of my life. I only become huge, like I said, because of that crap. But whatever, that's another story. But yeah, I was at least given an award for most improved. So if there's not any consolation for me being in swim team class with a bunch of little grade schoolers, it's that I got most improved. I didn't give up when I had the Charlie horse the very first day, because they didn't help us with our stretching exercises well enough. They basically, I was the reason that they started doing workout stretches before going into the actual pool. And so it's kind of neat that I was inspiration for that, because I started screaming when I had my Charlie horse. It was so bad. And that same next day I was like, Mom, I don't want to go back to swim team, but she forced me. She told me, no, Lisa, you have to keep with it because you chose to. And I was like, okay, yeah, you're right. And so, yeah. So basically, she helped me to realize that I shouldn't quit. And I'm very thankful that she taught me that. And, I finished swim team. And I didn't quit. I didn't let something like even getting a Charlie horse disrupt me from, doing that, something that would help me and help my health. And that's one thing I do respect about my mom. It's my favorite thing about her. She was always very, she would encourage me when I was down. And she was one of the only ones in my whole family that really ever encouraged me in any of the things that I ever cared to do. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have the creativity I have. I wouldn't have the inspirational feeling. I wouldn't have my whole like positivity. That was all from my mom. And it's sad to see my mom the way she is now. But I do realize it's probably because life is beating her down. And the family's not really doing much. They're all in their own little journey and their own little pain and all that. But it's like, it just hurts seeing especially my mom like that, because you never think your family's gonna be that way, especially someone you always looked up to. But this goes to show you life can definitely beat you down no matter what age you are. And I learned a lot from 6th grade. I learned about bullies and how mean especially girls can be, because sadly it was the females that were the worst to me in my school. And one of the things they would do is psychological. They would basically try to act like they're my friend and come up to me and try to talk to me outside or whatever. And then they would talk crap about me and make everybody think that I was not a good person. Then they would sit there and look at me like, oh, at least it's this way or that way. And it was like I felt how mean they were trying to be to me. And, I thought, at one point, I thought they actually were decent, and I thought they cared. And I was that type of person that, I believed in giving people second chances. I believed that maybe they could change. I believed the best in them. And I wanted to be their friend. And I wanted to be that way with them. And it always felt like I was the one that everybody picked on. And
small, Lisa, of course.
It was very emotional, up and down all the time.
Lisa, also didn't help that your own brothers wouldn't be supportive. They made fun of you too.
And it was like everybody would always, in the whole class, it just was so hard. I felt so alone, and I didn't have any friends. I don't even know how I made it through. I came home and I would cry. And the sad thing is, I actually cared. I wanted them to care too. And I don't know why. I mean, I guess maybe my size was partly, but I think also my race. I didn't realize how bad Rockford is for discrimination, but they are one of the worst in our whole area. And apparently my mom found out later. That's why she took me out of Rockford public schools. I did have a couple friends. I had some people, but I don't think they were in my actual class. And I know some of the guys were just being sick, perverted guys and probably just flirting. Back then, I didn't know what that meant. I was so naive. Like, when people say somebody's naive, you don't necessarily think that they are. But I really was. I didn't even know what it meant to flirt. I didn't know anything, about that type of thing. I did know my things from my abuse and my rapes, but I mean, I didn't understand that social way. And I thought it meant something bad. I thought they were making fun of me. And I think they were making fun of the person who had an odd crush on me. And I think most of the females were upset because the guys were paying attention to me, but I don't know that it was all in good way anyways. So I don't really think they needed to be jealous, but you know how
little teen girls are. If any guy pays even attention to another female, whether it's good attention or not attention, or not good attention, it's like they think that that person's flirting or something. I don't know if they were or not. There was one other boy that was like small too. So I don't know though that I had a crush on him. But at one point I kind of had a crush on all the guys because I was in love with love. And it wasn't even the people, it was just like, that little puppy dog crush, that you get when you're little teen kids and stuff.
In grade school, they do that too,
Grade school and 6th grade, little junior higher types. I was that girl, and I would write about it in my diaries, and it would make me blush and everything just thinking about it. And I would sit there in my little room and do my little fantasizing because that's all I could do. I could never go up to the guys and tell them I liked them. Usually if I liked a guy, I was silly with them. I didn't know like how to tell them directly because that was embarrassing. And so what I would do is I would just sit there and mess with them or tease them. I'd basically do what most guys do to females when they have a crush on them. As little kids, that's what you do. You just be silly, you get the person's attention at least, So that's what I would kind of do. I would sit there and play tag with this one guy. Well, some of the kids would do that in our school. And when because we would have recess in our school, sometimes how you did that when there was like things outside, and our school did that too. I mean, all schools probably did that, but there was like raining or something, bad weather, so we would have recess inside, and they would let us open because we have 2 rooms. One side is this main, because we had like 2 main rooms put together, but one homeroom would be there and one homeroom would be here. But in certain times we would just open it all up and it would be everybody would be in one area. But that was Mrs. Rosier and Mr. Dunn were my 2 teachers. And Mrs. Rosier was an English teacher, and I think English and grammar and stuff like that. And it may be literature. Social studies and stuff. I think that's what she was. And then Mr. Dunn was science and math. And then we went and we did art class and other things in other rooms and stuff. But we go back and forth. So some of us was in one of the groups and some of us was in another. But as a whole, we were all connected. So when we got to do our own little, recess with our 2 little classrooms, we would just totally open the 2 little divider doors, and the whole place was like free for all. And they'd have games and other things like that. So it was pretty fun when we did that, and I would be chased by different people, different of the other guys. My one friend, and his name's Andy Hughes, and he was my grade school friend too. He's the only person that I really had that I knew from grade school that was with me there, because everybody else was different. And so I was like, okay, well, this is, at least I knew him, but he would also tease me, but I just liked him as just a friend, not really anything more than that. But he would mess with me a lot, and some of the other guys would too. And they would always, it felt like I was always the public display. So it was very, like, I didn't understand the psychology of what was happening. And I just knew that I was always the target of something. Some person brought me into something that they were doing or saying about me. And that's really stressful when you are always talked about, no matter what you do. Like, I didn't even have to do anything, and they would say something about me, or people would be saying things about me. I didn't even know what they were saying. And that really started stressing me out. I guess my mom realized she was told that I would go into the bathroom and I would not eat my food. I would just go in at lunch hour and go into the bathroom and cry. I guess she was told that. It's probably when she realized, and that's one of the reasons they took me out, was because they didn't want me to keep getting hurt in regular high school, because it's even worse. You know, sixth grade's kind of you're starting it. You're making a name for yourself and hoping that people can respect you, you know. And when that happens, you realize you're never going to be anything, you know. And I needed a place where it was smaller, there's less people to sit there and harass me and call me names or diss me out, say I'm overweight, say I'm fat. This is why my diet and my weight now is so important to me. Is all my life it has been some kind of thing about something. Whether I was overweight, whether I was underweight, always something about my freaking weight. Like everybody in the world thinks they have to tell me what I have to be with my own freaking body. Like everybody has an opinion of Lisa's body. You know how that has really, really been a defining factor in my whole freaking development, in my whole life, and who I've become, and how obsessed I am toward freaking food and things like that. They've made me that way. And my family even would do things. They would put movies on and watch this documentary or that documentary of eating disorders and anorexia. It made me obsessed. It made me literally obsessed with eating disorders. And it's been a lifelong thing to try to work through and understand myself and my body and my relationship to food. It has really been hard, and it started when I was a little kid, when I was malnourished, and I would go God knows how long at times without food. And then we would have food, and then we wouldn't have food. And I would get raw hot dogs. My brother would get curdled milk in his baby bottle. You know, we would have rats in the refrigerator and in our house, eating our food, moldy food. Have to go to the McDonald's and beg and bum. Or eat freaking ketchup packets. Yeah. We go to soup kitchens sometimes because my mom didn't like going to soup kitchens. But that was my beginning life for 4.5 years. And then my adopted family was the opposite extreme, where they always had food and a lot of food and like heaps of food. And my family get-togethers would be nothing but food. And I would still, in the beginning of when I came here, I would still hide it under my pillow at night for a whole year, because I wasn't sure if I was going to be taken away. And I had been taken away multiple times already, and I was just preparing myself. But I think that's really sad when I feel for kids that go through that. You know, any type of abuse, any type of bullying, any type of people downing on one person, and I get so upset because I know how it feels. Like one person bullying on everybody bullying on one person is fucked up. It really gets me so upset when I see that happen. It burns me inside because I know exactly what they're feeling like. I've been that way. And let me tell you, it's not fun, and you walk on eggshells. You try to do everything right. You try to make everybody happy. so that they won't have anything to hate you for. And they still find something to hate you for. And it's just because it's you. In the end, it's just you. And I think that's the saddest part. Is you can do everything right, but if they don't like it, if they don't like you, how can you change yourself? You can't change who you are. God knows I've tried. I'm always gonna be this color. I'm always gonna be ethnically ambiguous. I'll never be pure white. I'll never be one race like they wanted me to be all that time. Because I'm me. I was born who I was. At least that's something I can't change, you know? I can only do what I can do to better myself, and I do. And I can remember what's happened to me so that I can help others who are going through the same thing, so they know they're not alone, and that I don't stand for bullying in any form, and that I will speak up for the little person, because everybody deserves a voice. And I hope that you all do too. And I hope you care about people who are mistreated, and that if you see somebody being mistreated by a group especially, that you will jump in and say something, because that person deserves somebody to take a stand. Nobody did for me, so I like to for other people, so that they know they're not alone. I would have liked somebody to do that when I was little, and that's what I believe in. You should always stand up for what you believe in, and that's how you make a difference. And I hope that you like this story time and that you learned something about me that maybe you didn't know. My 6th grade was very, very different, you know. It had goods and bads. I am not saying all those people that I went to school with were bad, and majority of them I probably never even knew. Just the main people I went to school with directly that were in my classes, minus a few of them because some of them were okay. And my teachers, I liked my teachers. I guess that's why I liked my teachers so much, because they didn't hurt me. They didn't say mean things. They were my teachers. And I was a good kid, and I tried my hardest, and I loved my schooling. I loved learning and growing. And they love nurturing our minds, you know. That's what teachers love. That makes them a good teacher. They're not those type that are, you know, the type that just want to make their tenure and that's it. Some teachers actually care. And those ones are dime a dozen. So if you have one like that, then you should be happy, because not everybody does. And let that teacher bring out whatever's in you and bring you to your full potential, because little girl or little boy or whoever, your mind's like a sponge, and you can learn a lot, and you can grow, and you can change this world and turn it totally around and make a difference. Just one person, that's all it takes. And you can be that shining star in your little world, and who knows what will happen, you know? That's the thing, you never know where your life's going to take you. So you should never give up, and you should never not believe that you can do something great. Because I don't ever not believe, especially now. I will never not believe. I know something's going to happen for me. I know it already is. And I love sharing with you. So, if nothing else, learn from me and change your world. I hope you have a wonderful evening, rest of the evening, and wonderful summer ahead, you know, the rest of the summer. And if you go to Vacation Bible School, have loads of fun and, you know, learn lots and have lots of adventures and play lots of games. And I always liked Vacation Bible School. But I hope that your summer's great, and I hope that you're loved wherever you are. But if not, I love you.